Okay, I'm going to call to, you want to go live now?
We are rolling and we're live.
Okay, I'm going to call to order the Environmental Justice Community Partnership Advisory Council meeting for Wednesday, December 7th, 2016. Opening remarks, I just want to thank everyone for coming down. I know for some of you it's a long drive, but it does serve a very good purpose, this advisory group, and it gives us some good information from your different communities that you represent and helping us understand better what needs to be addressed in your individual communities. The second item is call for the approval of the meeting minutes from September 1, 2016. Do I got a motion?
Just move to approve.
Move to approve. Do I get a second? Second. That's, let's see. We're going to go approval. Do I hear any objection? So I got a motion from Ida and a second from Barbie. So that motion is approved. Next item, number 3, is review of follow-up action items, and Mark is going to give us that item.
To my knowledge, there's no items to follow up on.
None?
So.
There's no action items, no follow-ups?
No.
No? Okay, so what I like to do is just,
Okay?
what I like to do is just get some feedback from the members who are here on what you thought about the conference that we had. Oh, it is on there? Oh, never mind.
Oh, we can do it now if you want.
What, is that item number 4?
Yeah.
Okay, well, then you take that, go ahead.
Okay. So we're ready for the next item?
Yeah, number 4.
Okay. And then Paul, could we get the PowerPoint up, please? So, hi everyone. Just for those, is anyone on the phone? No? Okay. I believe a couple people were going to call in, so in case anyone's on the phone, this is Daniela Arellano, Senior Public Information Specialist for the South Coast SCAQMD. And what I'm going to do is, we have a 2-part presentation. What I want to do during this presentation is give a recap of the efforts that we concluded throughout the year, in large part thanks to the advisory council members. And the second portion, we want to get your feedback on all of the events and your insight on what the strategy should be for the coming year. So with that said, again, just a little bit about the partnership. Again, it was founded in 2015 by our chairman of the board, Dr. Burke. And the purpose was really to solidify the relationship that we have with community groups and stakeholders. And in order for us to do that, we hosted a series of workshops and events to really generate that relationship. So we started off with the workshops. It was one in each of the 4 counties, LA, San Bernardino, Orange, and Riverside County. And the purpose of those workshops was to, number 1, provide community stakeholders with information about the South Coast SCAQMD and air quality. And number 2, to get feedback from the community on the air quality issues that matter most to them. So the first event took place in Los Angeles. We partnered with Healthy African American Families, and that took place at the Holland United Methodist Church in South LA. We initially had a pre-event registration of 111, and the day of attendance was about 70. So we had a little bit of a loss of people who actually attended, but nonetheless we had great participation. This is a slide that you've all seen before during previous presentations. We conducted a survey at the end of the workshop and generated some feedback, and our overall rating for this event was a 4.1 out of 5. I won't go through each and every single question just because you also have a copy. If you have any questions after, I'm happy to answer. In regards to the feedback that we received for Los Angeles, when we asked what people liked most about the event, people really liked the breakout groups and interactions, and that was really consistent across the board. People like to network with other people and learn about the health impacts and risks of air pollution. And this was a little bit different than a couple of the other workshops, because for this one we did conduct a little bit more of a presentation about the AQMD. but later changed the format of the event based on some of the additional feedback that we received. People also appreciated the diversity of attendees, that there was a diversity in age and just gender, and I mean, all across the board, it was very diverse. When we asked what they liked least about the event, people felt that the breakout groups didn't have enough time to discuss the issues. So based on that feedback, we did reformat the ensuing workshops to provide more time. There also wasn't enough clarity on AQMD's goals and the next steps to end pollution, so that's something that we need to work on and be transparent about, so that in our future meetings, we make sure that we lay this out in a language that they can truly understand, that's more that's just easier to understand when it comes to exactly what it is that we do. People didn't like the interruptions during the group activities, and I think that's partly to do with the idea that people really felt a sense of intimacy and ownership of what they were talking about. So for us to be reminding them that time was almost up, you know, these are just small logistical details that we did take to heart that we wanted to make sure we implemented and fixed for following workshops. They also didn't like that everything that was used requires petroleum. So that was actually something that we also heard for our conference, something along similar lines, that we didn't have a recycling system. I'll get into the details of that shortly. And when we asked how people heard about the event, most people heard through our partners or through an email, through the mass email. For the thermal workshop in Riverside County, this was at Toro Canyon Middle School, and we had a pre-event registration of 42, and our day of attendance was approximately 40, and our average score was 4.3 out of 5. When we asked for people to provide feedback on this workshop, what they really liked was the information presented, the opportunity to speak up. A lot of times in Riverside County, people feel that they don't really have an opportunity to really express themselves or aren't given enough of a voice, so they really appreciated that. They enjoyed having a collaborative atmosphere with other participants and the support that was being given to the community, again, because sometimes they feel that they don't get the attention that other communities receive. When asked what people liked the least, some people felt that it was too long of an event, particularly the beginning, and there was a lack of more community participation. Considering the issues that are happening in Riverside County, people wanted a lot more participation from community members. There was also a lack of focus on the next steps or results and solutions, and we certainly understand that. We want to make sure that when we go back in there, we are able to provide them with those solutions or next action items or next steps that resulted from this workshop. And also there's a sense of burnout from the community. A lot of times people feel that they've already participated in a number of workshops similar to this, and that agencies and organizations go in there to hear what's going on in the community, but nothing ever really happens. So there's a sense that, well, we already know what's going on. What is the solution? And again, when asked how people heard about the event, again, we give great thanks to the partners who really supported us with the outreach. People heard word of mouth from friends and from Facebook. So all of those tools are tools we'll use in the future. For the San Bernardino workshop, we conducted this at San Bernardino Valley College with the help of Todd Heibel. We had an initial registration of 115, and then 130 people showed up.
Wow.
So it was quite the well-attended event.
Were you there, Barbara? You were there, were
Amazing.
you?
No, I wasn't at the San Bernardino.
Yeah, and
It got interesting.
it
Oh.
definitely was.
Uh-oh.
We had some protesters, and this wasn't the first time that we had protesters. There's a group of youth out there who are very vocal and who are very much involved with air quality issues, and they protested. And part of their issue with the AQMD was that the air quality management plan was released that day without proper communication with the community groups and members who had participated in providing feedback throughout the process.
So actually what really happened, well, that happened, but it was released, but we did a briefing to the press, we embargoed it until 5 o'clock that day when it was gonna be fully released. But they found out about it, and so they were not happy with us that we released it to the press first, or gave them first dibs at it. Second, they were not happy that our executive officer was not there, although he did come later on. But mainly it was, the fact that we had released it to the press first without letting the communities take a look at it first. Although, to be honest with you, there was a number of working group meetings where environmental justice groups, businesses, other stakeholders were actively involved in this, and even some of the people that were part of the protest that day was they were actually at some of these stakeholder meetings, at these working group meetings. So there was input into it, but they felt that the communities should have been briefed first before the press. But it's a catch-22 with us, because we could have done that, and then press could have found out about it and put whatever their spin on it. But actually, and I think Wayne acknowledged that maybe we do things differently next time. But at the same time, we want to let the press know about this, because it was so important that we want to get our side out first before they heard it from somebody else and gave their own spin on it.
So when Wayne showed up, about 40 of these youth who were from this group, who had been participating in the breakout sessions, stood up, shouted him down, and then walked out. And so that was the protest. And it was ironic that they were saying he hadn't been there, but he ended up spending another 40 minutes answering questions from those who remained. So.
Thank you. And, it was interesting to see the feedback that we received during the survey questions. A lot of people actually complained that protesters had interrupted the presentation, had interrupted the meeting, and had reduced the quality of event by, creating this type of distraction. They thought it was disrespectful. So when you compare the overall average 3.9 out of 5 with 4.3, 4.1, it had a lot to do with that. I think that the overall feedback from the surveys, people really enjoyed the breakout sessions. People really enjoyed learning about what the AQMD does, but we did lose some points over the disturbance to a certain degree. So what did you like most about this event? Being able to represent my community and express my concerns, meeting other community members, learning about air quality. What they liked least were the protesters. They created a distraction. There was not enough information about how AQMD works, so we did present, but again, we were in the process of fine-tuning those presentations so that people truly walk away having understood what we do, the service we provide, and how they can take action in their own community. And again, people just thought it was a little too chaotic with everything happening. People heard about this through friends, work, email, and Facebook. And for the Orange County event, thank you to Ada and Barbie and Alicia for your help with this as well. We had an initial, it was over at the Sea Cliff Country Club in Huntington Beach, and it was a pre-event registration of 37 and day of attendance of 52. So again, that's something that we'll take into consideration. Sometimes people will see a flyer that won't necessarily register online or over the phone, but will show up, but we were able to accommodate them just fine. The overall average for this event was a 4.4 out of 5. For this particular event, we combined it. It had a little bit of a different setup. The other ones had just been a workshop. This one was a combination of a workshop and an awards ceremony. We recognized Oscar Rodriguez from Oakview Comunidad, who was recommended by Barbie. He was incredible and quite the impressive young person who I'm sure we're going to hear about in the future. He's incredible. And so we had Gina introduce Gina Tarvin, help me out here.
Clayton.
And she's from the school district out in Huntington Beach. And so she introduced him, spoke about the issues that are happening in the community. And I think that overall for next year, we'll of course talk about this as a group, but we might just do this in the future where we make a combination of a workshop and an awards
That's
ceremony.
very nice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What people liked most about this event was learning about the leaders in their community and what they're doing to help, the opportunity to speak about the issues in the area, and the face-to-face communication with AQMD. What people liked least about the event is they would have liked more outreach in other Orange County communities, so that's something that we'll certainly implement in the future. They wanted to see like Santa Ana or perhaps just other areas in Orange County, so we'll make sure that our staff has a presence out there. To a certain degree, they also felt there was not enough time and just not enough visuals. So perhaps in the future we can include more visuals when it comes to what we're talking about and, to help illustrate the discussion. How they heard about the event was, of course, Oakview Comunidad, Unite Here, Accord, Alicia Rodriguez, and the email announcement. And for Alicia Rodriguez, that's the Delhi Center. For the Riverside, so again, we conducted workshops, one workshop in each of the 4 counties, and then the goal was to conduct one awards ceremony in each of the 4 counties to recognize outstanding environmental justice leaders. And so for Orange County, we had Oscar. Then for Riverside County, we had Sylvia Paz. She's from the Building Healthy Communities in the Eastern Coachella Valley. Great leader. We held it at the Jackalope Ranch, and it was a well-attended event with an attendance of 37. Anything to add to that? Okay. We have an upcoming recognition ceremony for San Bernardino. Dr. Lauren Speeson, who serves on our Environmental Justice Advisory Group and teaches at Loma Linda University, is going to be recognized along with Dr. Samuel Surratt, who unfortunately passed away, but they have been instrumental in the research that's been conducted in the San Bernardino area related to the impacts on public health from the rail yards. And we'll update everyone as soon as we have a date for that. For Los Angeles County, we'll be recognizing Monsignor John Moretta from Resurrection Church in Boyle Heights and Angelo Logan from Occidental College, who also co-founded East Yard Communities for Environmental Justice. And both of these individuals were also instrumental in the Exide Technologies issue out in Boyle Heights. So we certainly want to recognize their commitment to the community and improving the lives of people that live in that area. Well, we have a tentative date of January 5th for this event, but we'll confirm once we determine. Anything to add?
No, but you all are welcome to attend if you like. I think we're going to have it at Stevens Steakhouse, right? Is that where it's going to be?
Mhm.
It'll be is it a breakfast? Or?
It'll be a lunch. It'll be
A
from
lunch?
11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Okay, and you're all more than welcome to attend. Just let us know so we can make sure we prepare for the number of people that are going to be coming.
Thank you.
I'll make sure to invite Oscar as well so he can meet the other
Oh,
award
yeah,
recipients in the area.
yeah. And the amazing thing about him is he'll come. Like, he does
Yeah,
everything.
we
He's
saw him
great.
over at the Clean Air Awards. It was awesome to see him there. So,
Yeah, he's great.
and Dr. Young was there as well. So thanks for attending. So for the conference, this is really just a run through, and then we'll of course ask for your feedback at the end, which we definitely want to hear. The conference was a great success. We had approximately 250 people there, which is a great turnout.
What was last year's numbers?
What was last year's?
It was about the same. What did you say the number was this year?
About 250.
But,
Yeah.
but you said last year people left earlier, right?
No, it was
No.
about the same. It was between 250 and 280. I don't remember it was like 260 something.
More.
Yeah.
More.
You know,
Looked pretty
I have a
good.
feeling we might have had a little bit more, but on paper it was about 250.
People who registered, yeah.
Well, on registration we had a lot more.
The only way we really know how many people showed up is how many plates we paid for.
I
Then we know how many people showed up.
Yeah, it just seemed like it was more than that.
And thank you for holding it in a good
Yeah.
union place. It's represented by our workers.
Well,
Oh,
good.
good.
I was texted, one of our workers is like, are you gonna stop by and see me? I know you're here.
Oh, that's
That
good
was
to
very
know.
nice, thank you.
Thank you.
It's a nice video.
So we received great feedback. The speakers were incredibly dynamic. Danny Bakewell from the Bakewell Company, from Taste of Soul, he was very inspirational to a lot of people.
He
Melissa-
gave us a different perspective. He was like,
amazing.
he's like
great.
old school, and his speech was, he was more on the civil rights side, but
I
civil
loved
rights
it.
and environmental justice
Loved.
are the same thing. It's just, you know, in different arenas, but it's the same message. It's
It was
about
a message.
underrepresentation.
Desperately needed that day. I was
Yeah.
feeling really just discouraged. And boy, he spoke to me. It was
Oh,
outstanding.
good.
Yes.
He was great.
And he was like, we got him like, I don't know, like, we were trying to get Van Jones. And then I finally got the okay to get Van Jones. And then when we contacted his agent, the agent said, no, he's already booked for that day.
No, he didn't say he was booked. He
forever.
said he had a personal commitment.
Okay, he was
Because
already.
he wasn't booked, and that's why we
Oh,
pursued
that's how
it.
you were going
Yeah.
out.
And then
But then
when
by the time I said yes,
he said, oh, he's not booked, but he has a personal commitment, so that he can't come.
and it was like, what was it, about a week or so after the election, right? So I think that
And
made
you got Danny.
Oh, gosh.
Got him
Yeah.
on the
It
golf
was.
course.
Yeah, off the golf course or off the CNN.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
One of the
and
two.
honestly, Van Jones is just so popular. You know, we all can watch him live. He speaks to us directly through our Facebook.
Yep.
You know, he
Yeah.
does all that actively. So him, I talk to every day. but Bakewell, right? But Bakewell was amazing. It was amazing to see someone that I hadn't heard of, and really inspiring.
The problem is Van Jones' price is probably going to go up now,
Oh
given
gosh,
his
yeah.
notoriety after the election.
Yeah. And Melissa Mays also, a lot of people loved what she talked about and, you know, what she stood for. So two really great, good quality speakers. The plenary panel, The Future of Environmental Justice, also a different vibe to it, but also very informative based on the information we gathered. We might want to tweak it a little bit in the future. And I'll get into the detail of that based on the feedback we received. But then the breakout groups were also very well received. Thank you to everyone for making that happen. Ada and Dr. Young, really thank you for, and Barbie, thank you for connecting me with Gina. So thank you.
Yeah, that was
She
good.
was phenomenal.
Yeah, everyone was. So thank you.
And Derek.
And Derek, thank you.
Welcome, Wayne, the boss up there. That's
This
who you
is
gotta
the
thank.
part I missed.
Yeah, so this was
So bummed.
the afternoon plenary, the future of environmental justice. We had Wayne speaking on air quality, and then we had sanitation, Doug, and Dr.
Elisa Nicholas.
Alyssa Nicholas for public health,
Nichols.
from public health, and Nydia from Coalition for Clean Air, and Dee Zinke from the Metropolitan Water District. So there we have, and then we had our MC was,
Alan Clark, he used to be my supervisor here at AQMD.
Mm-hmm.
And he went to go work for Shell, and then he's now working for Sorrell Associates. And I was teasing him that I was gonna go up to the mic and announce this, but he actually used to come out in General Hospital. He had a kind of a recurring role.
So
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like this.
Alan,
Yeah,
Oh,
a recurring role
Oh,
under a different
wow.
name. Was he play? What did he play?
I think he uses the name Keith, wasn't it?
No, yeah, Keith Caldwell was his,
Keith
it was his
Caldwell
acting name.
was his acting name, but
He moved out to California from Texas because he had been working in government, working for an environmental agency there, and knew a lot about environmental and air quality issues. We hired him here, but his ulterior motive was because we don't work on Mondays, he could do some acting. And so he would do he did a recurring role on General Hospital and did some other things, so.
So I was telling him the whole day, I'm gonna go up there, man, I'm gonna go up there. Say, don't do that, please don't do that. I didn't do it,
I don't know if he's doing it anymore.
no, I don't think he is, he said he's not. All right, go ahead, you finish.
here are just some additional pictures of the event. Oh, and some of the feedback, as I was mentioning earlier, is people didn't see recycling bins, so people were upset about that. But in conversation with Mark, the recycling company actually separates the items, so we don't necessarily see it at the venue, but it is done
Right,
behind the scenes, for lack of
under
better terms.
City of LA, they have to separate, so they get the trash sanitation department picks it up and then has to separate it because there's a requirement under the law that they have some certain percentage that's recycled. So if it doesn't happen by the people who are throwing out their garbage, it happens at the back end when the trash is collected.
Maybe putting like a little sign on, like a little
Yeah.
sign on it that says this trash will be recycled or something, will appease some people? I don't know, just on the regular trash can.
They're
Just have a
changing it
sign.
now after this new contract that just came out. I don't know when they're gonna sign the new contract for the city of Los Angeles. So now it's gonna be separate.
Mm.
Oh, so now they have to pick it up separately. Okay, so next year maybe they'll have separate bins and then we won't.
We're not
Just,
gonna
it's
put the
optics
sign,
is
yeah.
really what it is.
It is optics.
Yeah.
Yeah, and part of that was because we used the, we thought it'd be maybe little small carton boxes, but lo and behold, it was plastic,
We
containers.
kept saying box lunches, we assumed it was boxes.
Yeah.
So that's something for us to consider in the future,
Yeah.
perhaps request that they use sustainable or biodegradable packaging. There were also some complaints about parking. Parking was quickly filled. So in the future, what we might do is just make sure we include information about additional parking lots in the surrounding area to make sure that people know where exactly they can go instead of having to search for the parking.
Yeah, it's a public parking facility, so a lot of the people who go to the county building across the street park there.
Yeah, so that was part of the
Yeah.
feedback we got, was there wasn't enough parking, and if we didn't subsidize it, they had to go park somewhere else, and it got expensive.
I think I paid $25 or something.
Yeah, that's what, it was,
Wow.
yeah,
They filled
and
up
I
when
think
I got
Orange
there,
County.
but
that
not
was the only
used, so,
drawback, I
yeah.
think, for it, because,
OC, we don't pay for
put it on your paper.
yeah, I think that was the only drawback, because limited parking
Yeah.
there, and maybe what we do, and I don't know how we could do it, but maybe we just reserve, I don't know how to do it.
Maybe we get another second lot that we have validations for.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Besides the one.
But it's still a walk, I mean, there's no close,
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
music
Yeah,
center's
there's
the
nothing
closest.
close. I was a little late
Yeah.
and driving around. I had to beg my way in. I really literally batted my eyelashes and did everything I could to get in. Because it was filled,
Yeah.
But they found a spot for me, but.
Oh, good.
Did you tell him Jesus is watching you? That's what I said. Leave the guilt trip on them.
Good for you.
Are you having it at the same location this year? every year
We're
the same
looking, yeah,
location?
we're leaning towards that.
We're leaning, yeah, we haven't
I mean,
said yet.
it's a good location, although, I did bring it up that it's, we need to spread it out and go out to other counties, but, it's a give and take, because I think that if we go out to, whether it be the IE or Orange County, I don't think we're gonna get as many people.
I agree.
It's
I
gonna be
agree on that.
very
I
difficult
agree.
to get the numbers out there, so.
There's just a lot more EJ groups in
Yeah.
LA. Also, it was transportation accessible
Yeah.
by the metro, and so it was easy for people to get here through MetroLink from other areas.
Right.
Yeah.
For most people.
Another thing we heard was that they wanted more time, and again, we've heard this before, they wanted more time to ask questions to the speakers when it came to Melissa Mays and to the plenary panel for the future of environmental justice. And Alicia, can you think of anything else that was kind of a glaring issue that multiple people brought up?
I would say that a lot of people wanted to see 2 breakout groups,
Oh, right. Mm-hmm.
so that's something to consider.
Instead
but
of
we had
4.
a lot of time constraints. So.
No, wanted to
Like a-
repeat the
mhm.
4 a second time, so people
Yeah.
could
Oh,
choose
yeah.
2 different ones.
Yeah, I was able to make it to 2, but I had to leave hers early to attend yours. It was like one of those where I split up my.
Yeah. Yeah, we originally had a plan where we were going to do the same breakouts twice in a row, but that would have limited what else we were able to do in the plenaries. And since we had 2 big speakers and a plenary session, and had to get lunches to people, the logistics didn't work because we wanted people to get out at a normal time.
Right.
So if they had to travel outside of LA, they could leave by 3 o'clock.
There's no way you could have put in another.
I don't know if you could have done it.
Although-
In that forum,
Yeah.
but if you wanna plan something where you
You
have
could
a
have
plenary
a-
session and one speaker,
Yeah.
one dynamic speaker, morning speaker to get them off and going, and then a plenary in the afternoon, that might cut instead of 2 speakers. That's just a suggestion.
And having them available to watch later, I don't know if they are available, if we can still catch them,
We're
that
going
would
to
be
post it,
amazing.
yeah, we're gonna post it.
Yeah.
I got a lot of requests incidentally, excuse me,
That's okay.
for the PowerPoint I used.
Yes.
And I videoed, that whole session was videoed. Did you guys know that?
Yeah, we saw that you videotaped it, and
Yeah.
I mean, we'd be happy to post it if you're willing
Actually,
to, but
It's
we
funny,
understand if you're not willing to.
Remember I told you I did 3 speeches in that week, well, that was one workshop. So my staff sent the video from from the conference here to the other person, so yeah.
Was that bad?
Well, they were requesting the video, because we video when I speak, and so I felt it was very important to video that workshop. And so we will get it to you, because I was so embarrassed, but we can get it to you.
Thank you.
And also, I had put this on Facebook, I'd announced it,
Nice.
to really get people aware of it and the conference, and I think, maybe that might have helped a little bit anyway.
The thing that I heard, and I heard a lot of comments from people, they thought the breakout sessions were one of the, besides the keynotes, were really one of the highlights. And everyone who went to one of the breakouts really liked the breakout they went to. I heard great things about your breakout. I heard great things about the panel you had. I heard great things about the panel you had, and people were really the room was really full in the technology panel as well. That Daphne was the moderator for. So, we really I think chose some good topics, and people were really engaged in them. I think there were a lot of questions and answers in all of the breakout sessions, and the people who were in your session were very happy that there was an engagement part that they were.
They had to work.
That they they
had to actually present. Once we told them how to tell your story, actually I changed it, how to be an advocate, and telling your story. But they were really engaged. I guess we were all surprised, because they really, really did engage and then perform, because they had to pick someone from their group to actually do a presentation around air quality and environmental issues,
Right.
which was very good.
What would be cool, like, just to keep the conversation going, is if you guys could put those presentations up and people can discuss them and talk about, just to keep those conversations going, because when they kind of stall out, I think it's.
No, we didn't
reach as many
videotape the
people.
breakouts. You videotaped yours, but that may be
Oh,
something.
that was your,
Yeah.
That may be
Yeah,
something
I
we
brought
want
my
to do
own
next
crew.
year, just because the cost was a little prohibitive to get 4 other camera setups in those rooms in addition to the plenary. But we can definitely post the presentations.
There were people, even in audits, remember how some of the girls were really frustrated in there, wanting to talk about real tangible ways to get the community involved.
Yeah.
And
It was a great session.
It was great, but I felt like at the end that they were left thirsty still for that, and so to keep that conversation going, I really wanted to tell them, find the different ways, like we did with the AQMD. Call them, what are the different ways community members can participate in the hearings without having to physically be there, or, and so those are it's good information to pass along, and unfortunately I didn't get to speak to the girls, but I really felt a little empty with that.
They, I think the great questions were coming at the end, and just people wanted more. In fact, we prolonged our group for, I think, another 10 minutes. People didn't mind
Were you in
staying.
the room next to me?
Yes, they were.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they stayed.
Yeah, they stayed 10 more minutes, and even then, I don't feel like, so we had some really good stories. Gina, by the way, we should consider in the future to be a speaker. She was just very dynamic and very on point and very inspirational to people, so we should think about that.
She would be a good one to do like the evolution of environmental justice, like
We should think about her, yeah,
Top to bottom.
definitely, she was good.
Yeah.
But I agree with Barbie, we have to leave them with something that they feel like they can touch and they can feel a part of. And so more time in those groups would have been important, or less panelists, or less people, you know, because their stories were powerful and they just sort of got maybe a little bit lost.
Yeah, how to apply it to theirs. Yeah, so keeping the conversation, I think would be an amazing way to.
Yeah.
What do you think would be a good number for the panelists?
So how many did we have? We had
So it varied.
Humberto,
You had Humberto, Gina, Lupe, and
The railroad woman? Is
And
that
the-
what
the railroad, yeah,
Lupe.
Lupe.
That's
Lupe.
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 And then there
and
was
Lupe
more,
and Lou.
and then
So-
there's
Lou.
Yours was a
Gina.
panel?
Yeah,
Yours
mine
So
was
it
a
was
panel.
four.
was a
So
panel.
it was
Correct.
4. I would have
Oh, that's true.
had 3 because
Just 3,
it
yeah.
was definitely too many. And then the other thing that for me, right, I like to be inclusive of everybody, and so that's why I really love the fact and the way that I've seen the AQMD really act towards people that dissent or feel differently, and I've seen it in different ways, and it just really it's uplifting for me because I want to make sure that everybody has a voice, even though they vary from what people believe in, but. So we had a couple of people that were, a little critical of the railroad work that was going on, and I didn't know how to deal with it except for let people, talk. So maybe just a little bit of intervention there could have been. I think she held her ground. Like it was fine. It was good to hear. It was just good to hear the
She
fact.
humanized her position. I'm a person, I do what I can and I get, it was like which is important.
And she took it. She was very respectful. She took it, and I think that's what people want. They just want to be heard, And ultimately, maybe there's a chance to work through it. But I had no idea that was going to happen, so I kind of wanted, I didn't expect it, and I didn't know how people were going to react to it. So I think I should have been thoughtful about that when I saw who the panelists were, right? Just sort of knowing that we had a mixture of people. But that was interesting, very interesting.
One of the feedback we got, some of the feedback we got at the last conference was we only had a business person on the plenary and nowhere else, and he was added sort of at the end, and he said, consider adding the business perspective, because if you only get one perspective, people don't necessarily understand what the business folks are thinking, but also the business folks can better understand the perspective of environmental justice if they're at the conference. And so that's why we wanted to broaden it a little bit. Again, I think we did not have as much business representation as initially we had intended, but it's difficult to fit them into these different panels. So
It is hard.
yeah.
So you represent, employees of different businesses.
Mhm.
And so maybe what we'll do is we'll go to you next year, and if you can offer some suggestions on business people who to put on some of these panels, that would be very helpful, because we were really, I got, Lupe was at first said, I can't do it, then I can do it, and then I'm gonna give you somebody else, and that person couldn't do it, so then she ended up doing it, but we were really scraping by on trying to get business folks, and, you wanna hear both sides, you just don't wanna
Yeah,
hear
of
one
course.
side.
Of course.
So, whether you represent people from the hotels, restaurants too, right? Restaurants.
Entertainment venues.
Yeah, so that'd be really helpful if you can
Yeah,
help us.
I'll keep my eye out on this for now, for next year.
Okay.
Not only for panelists, do we also invite business people to participate in the conference as just the people who are there to
Yes,
listen?
yes, yeah, we do that. We reached out. We got some sponsorships from, if I recall, we got one from a solar company. Who else did we get sponsored? Yellow Cab.
SCAG.
Well, SCAG's a government agency. American Power Group was the one out of Sacramento, right? Okay, yeah, so, we did get
And
business
the
folks.
Morongo.
Morongo, yeah, but they're their own nation, so you don't wanna.
Morongo.
I was like, Morongo's here. I
Morongo.
was
You,
kind of
did
surprised.
you say Morongo?
Yes.
Morongo.
Yeah, they're here.
How did you get
Casino.
them on?
Backstage.
Who went after them?
So we had Morongo they got their own designation of their own air district.
Mhm.
But,
Oh.
yeah, so being that literally whatever they do on theirs is gonna have influence on our air district, cause
They're very small and
Very
we're
small.
surrounding them.
yeah.
Oh.
So, there was an agreement that, they're sovereign, we respect that, we respect their own district, but that they would adopt some of our, practices, some of our rules to, at least minimize the amount of pollution that's gonna go on there. But, they're actually really good to work with, they've been very helpful, and they're willing to, they wanna do environmental justice, stuff, they really do, they told me, in a meeting we had with them, we'd like to do more environmental justice work in Coachella Valley. Fortunately, we were able to get them out for this conference, but they are very concerned about environmental justice.
That's good.
And it goes to protecting Mother Earth, as they say,
Of course.
and they
Yeah.
respect that.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And they have plenty of money, plenty.
Yes, they do.
And Daphne, any feedback? And then, Eric, do you mind writing this feedback that they're providing us? Because I'm writing it down, but I want to make sure we're capturing everything. Do you were in the technology and policy breakout, so do you have any feedback to share?
Well, that session, there were some people, I think who may have been standing. I don't think there were enough seats for that session in particular. I don't know if we try to get people to pre-register for specific sessions. I've seen that at different,
We did,
different
yeah.
conferences, so people could get
That's a
an
good
idea
idea.
of the numbers. And I also very much appreciated, I did see the same time Spanish language translator, and I appreciated that, even though I don't speak Spanish, but I know other people, I saw people with the headsets, so that was really good.
And did you think a two-person panel worked well for that one?
I did, because people were asking questions, and so, yeah, I think it was fine that it was two persons. And also just going back to the comment about the person from Union Pacific, do we tell people that no members of the public may be here, they may ask you tough questions? Do we tell
No,
that
she
in
knows, she used
advance?
to work here.
Yeah, she was good, because she used to work here.
Yeah.
She was here,
She was in his position
she was in your
Okay.
3
position.
people ago.
Yeah,
Okay,
so she
Yeah,
understood.
she
okay.
knew what she was
She
doing.
was prepared to
She,
get
she's
tough
the one that
questions.
actually told Wayne, hey, you gotta get more business people from available, I'll do it.
Oh, okay.
So, no,
great.
she knew what she was getting into.
Okay.
That's good to know. I think that definitely, we conducted, like maybe 20-minute calls with panelists and moderators before the actual conference. So it might be good for us just as a heads up, so everyone knows, there could be protesters or people who might present things, people are angry, so just a
And I
heads up.
forgot to mention, Teresa, you can also help us out with business folks too. That'd be, because we're really, like I said, desperate to get business folks, because you want to hear a different perspective on things.
What if you partner with the local chambers in Los Angeles?
Yeah, that's,
bring them
well, the local chambers are interesting. Sometimes they're with us, sometimes they're not. And it just depends on
Yeah.
what time of the year it is, if there's legislation up in Sacramento. Fortunately, the one that they were strongly opposed to died in Sacramento, but, it's just sometimes, it works out. But I think it's a good idea, maybe whether it be the Latino chamber or any other ethnic chambers, get their business folks in on this.
I can give you a list of those that we would.
I can
That
put
was
you in
their
contact
one.
with the African American Chamber,
Okay, great.
the big
Is
one,
that what? On the California?
yeah, MC Council. In fact, I'm a member, I'm a bronze member, so I can get you guys,
Okay, great.
yeah, a list if you like.
Yeah,
Business
so that'd be helpful to us.
Now, in terms of the breakout sessions, or in terms of the format, do you think we should follow a similar format, or are there things that we should change for next year that you think would help make that a better conference?
So for a moderator, for me, the setup did not work very well, because part of the problem that I had in the time was that it was hard to, without having everybody notice, nudge someone to stop. So if the moderator's closer to the people, then like a nice nudge or standing up or something. What I usually do to get people to stop is I would without people looking at me, just go like that. But it was really hard because I was standing in the front and they were sitting down, and you know,
And the
and
rooms
people,
are tight, yeah.
yeah, and so people see.
Did they have time? Did you tell them you got 5 minutes?
Yeah, I did.
You did?
Yeah, of course.
And did
of
you
course.
tell them if you go over the 5, I'm gonna stand?
Well, we did, we did, and I stood and walked, but no.
They keep
So,
going.
so that was a little tough. So making sure that the moderator has access to them somehow, or, maybe it's a standing situation where that's helpful. For me, it would have, it's hard to shut people off. It is. You gotta, you gotta have an art,
I
right?
have to do it, because I'm on a
Yeah.
television show, sorry, they got it.
But, no, what I'm saying is
Sorry, you
it,
got it cut, shut.
yeah, but there's a right way to do it, right?
I know.
So
You're
not when
not
you're like
rude.
sitting all the way
You're
over
not
there.
rude,
Yeah.
but what I generally do is I meet with people ahead of time at the site,
Yes,
and I
yeah.
reinforce that, because it's not fair when you have people, it's not fair
Yes,
for
it
you
was
to take
hard.
10 minutes and then this
Hard.
person doesn't have, there's a time crunch.
Yeah.
I think the most
But
important.
alleviating that would be good if
Yeah.
you had it close or something like that.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you just show it to them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
Then you don't have to.
I do that too.
would it be appropriate for the staff member that's assigned to the room to have a red, yellow, green paper with
Yeah, that
that's
would have been
right in
helpful.
front of the speakers?
Yep.
Okay. So for next year,
And then not so
Eric,
many
if you can
on
Yeah.
add staff member to
Keep time.
keep time.
And
They
I
were
usually
asked to
tell
keep
them
time.
less.
They were asked to be timekeepers, but I think that we do need to have a more
So I had
straightforward.
one of my team
Mhm.
people from my team keep time for me, so I can know when to go to the next item, but it was just hard to moderate the rest. So the green, yellow and
So,
stuff
yeah,
would work tremendously.
Green, yellow, red paper with time. And I'll know what that is so I can.
And again, I would just like to say that, the number of people, depending on the time, either more time or less people, the stories were phenomenal.
On the panels, you're
Yeah.
On the panel.
And were there any subjects that came up during the questions that you think would be good ideas to build a panel or a breakout session for next year?
Yeah, can you remind me the name of my panel? Because I was like, does that cover it? But people were like, they wanted concrete ways of understanding how to build through. Like what are the issues that you face when you're building coalitions? What are those difficulties? How do you entice people to go? Like, what is it that you do? Because you can invite 100 people, but unless you're like really talking to them, you're not going to get them to come, right? Unless it's relationship building, it's personalities, it's groups. I mean, we can send out an email to all 5,000 of our members in one particular area, they won't show up. But if we call them and explain to them why it is, then we'll get a nice number to show up, right? So I think they wanted things like that. I think that was important for the group. Can you remember, Barbie, what else they were asking? Because you
So is
captured.
it tools for coalition building or tools for event planning or what?
Resources, just so they can, like I said, continue the conversation. If you
Coalition
have something to
building.
say and you're
Okay.
not getting the answers you want, you're gonna get angry and tune it off and think, oh, well, this was a waste of my time.
Yeah.
Or you can give those people resources when they do, like, we don't have time now, but here's some really valuable, or this is ways we're gonna continue the conversation, or these are some tools, or, hey, contact, something, so people don't leave frustrated and, feel like it was a waste of their time.
So what if we had a breakout session next year that is just very straightforward and technical and just tangible, where it's marketing tools for coalition building, where you teach people how to market your events, how to brand your organization so you know what it is that the public understands what it is you're doing. Like the tools that are associated with marketing and PR and communications and branding along those lines. Is that something that would be of use for?
So what I would like to see moving forward, and when I'm talking about this, I'm not talking about like necessarily, I'm talking about my circle, the people that I will bring to these events, we want, like what can we do? How can we help? What is it, what are some of the concrete things? Like people are hungry they're used to coming to our meetings and we'll give them like 5 assignments. Your job is to go get someone to do blah, blah, blah. We teach them how to speak in public, to take on city council people, whatever it is, right? So they're expecting to come with concrete assignments and leave there because they're leaders, right?
Right,
So
with
they wanna
action,
do more. So I think finding, like projects that can be helpful, either educating their neighbors or educating their sisters or brothers, or, concrete things that will move, environmental justice forward, will move clean air, whatever is in their,
Opportunities for action.
So,
Oh, beautiful,
so
there you go.
as we speak right now, I have one of my staff members is creating a video on how the public can testify at our hearing board, not our governing board, but our hearing board. You guys were active when the hearing board went out to Huntington Beach.
Absolutely, yeah.
A lot of people don't know what the hearing board does, because it's not a public town hall meeting. You're accepting testimony. It's like being in a courtroom. So people aren't aware of that. So we're creating this video. We're going to share it on Monday at a town hall meeting we're having in Paramount, basically telling them this is.
Oh, I read about that.
This is what the hearing board does, and this is what they can do, what they can't do. This is how you testify and not to testify. Things, helping them, because essentially people will hear about a hearing board meeting, and especially if we have it in the community, but they don't know. They just think it's a town hall meeting, and it's not.
And that was one of the things, especially when my work with the AQMD, it was really frustrating to me that, okay, so that you're coming to our town and you want to hear what's going on. But then I really felt like where the AQMD let us down was they didn't come in and tell people how they could participate, what exactly was going on. We did that. We hit the streets and talked to individual members day in, day out. This is exactly what's happening. And so I'm glad to hear you guys are doing that. And I hope that you do take some time to canvass the community, because that's essentially what we did. And that's the only effective way to get people to understand the different ways that they can make a difference.
Yeah, I'll be very honest with you, canvassing is very difficult.
Oh, tell me about it.
It's
That's very difficult, but it's
We have a
effective.
staff, it is effective, but our staff is very limited.
Mhm.
And we're sending in staff to communities where it's monolingual, maybe
Yeah.
Spanish or
I mean, and that's where
different
you
language.
connect with the
But
local
that's where we're limited at,
organizations in
yeah.
the community. And I guarantee you the money you're spending on making a video and all that, it may equal the money it will cost you to canvass a
Actually,
community.
this was
well,
in-house.
but
It's all
can
in-house.
can I also just say that that's why there are groups like this, because if you give me the tools, our people will canvass. We're already canvassing for
Exactly.
other issues.
You know what? Who's doing
You know what I'm
this?
saying?
Is the Exide people. DTSC is partnering with 2 community groups to go canvass communities, because you're going to send people in that don't speak the language, they don't know, and are unfamiliar with the community there that they're canvassing. But DTSC finally realized they're not being successful. They got to do something different. So they partnered with 2 community groups, and with these community groups, they're going into the communities, canvassing, getting people to sign up to get their soil tested, and they're getting a higher success rate. I mean, a way higher success rate
Of course they are.
than
Yeah.
going in there just with their own people and trying to get people, because there's a lot of distrust.
Of course they are.
So
Absolutely.
In everything,
In
in
everything.
everything. It's the community that has to go in there.
Mhm.
So, I mean, just putting people to work, like, it will make me feel like, oh, I'm actually doing something that, brings results, to whatever, the cause is that we're dealing with at that moment. But I think that that's why this group is important, because there are a few of us in the group that have access to lots and lots of people. And I assume that the AQMD would like to get them to open those emails that they get or view a video that will further incite them
Right.
to pick the better card,
Yeah, because
right?
without the AQMD,
to buy the better
we would
car.
never have accomplished what we accomplished this year, ever, if we didn't have the AQMD. And you were the only agency that helped us. The health, no other, including our city council, would even bat an eye at us. But the AQMD, and here I go, I'm gonna cry again, because this is what I do. But, and people need to know that what the AQMD has done for communities and what you can do for other communities. I mean, nobody really knows. I mean,
Well,
it's pretty,
So what other tools are lacking that we can provide next year at the conference?
Could I make a
Or at the workshop? Okay,
Besides
go ahead.
parking.
In terms of, I've worked at a nonprofit before, and funding is always an issue, like grant writing, how to find
Oh,
funding
gosh.
opportunities. So I don't know if that's a breakout session we want.
Well,
So there was one
we
idea.
considered that, but then we realized we didn't have any money to give away, so.
But even if you had a foundation speak about what
Yeah.
they look for when funding an applicant.
There's another one that
Yeah.
this idea was brought to us, is, there's town hall meetings, we talked about the hearing board meetings, but then there's town hall meetings. And there's showing up to governing board meetings.
Yeah.
And there's ways to offer your opinion, and there's ways not to do it. And, just, we're all human, and, people are out there attacking us, and that's just a natural defense mechanism, is to put this barrier.
yeah.
But
Part of
if-
that is because they feel that you fulfill them. It also, like the ABCs of the AQMD would be great. How to even get the ball rolling,
Right.
how to even call in for a violation that you may not recognize.
Also how to testify, or
Oh,
just
yeah.
give public comment, because, as I was saying earlier,
Barbara session.
that was Barbara's session.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
there's ways to do it, ways not to do it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm all about the wrong way.
And
I'm just gonna piggyback on, in terms of, I'm sort of segueing because I've got to leave. But basically, what could help that session would be a handout, because I did a PowerPoint and clearly walked them through the process, but then more or less gave them an assignment where they could actually do it. Because I believe, we can listen to folks all day, but to actually put them in a group and have them walk through all the steps that I had taken them through about how to do it, and then have them do it. Oh, I was ecstatic, because people really want to be engaged and want to learn something, want to do something. So people could say they actually walked away with something, but what I should have done, but I didn't have a lot of time, because I had like all these things going on, was to actually give them a handout with the steps that I had given them, or a video, or something where, because I did get 3 people, you included, wanted the PowerPoint of what I had actually put together. And it's so good, I have a magazine wanting to put that in an article, so it's gonna be in an article. But I want to also say, I had an idea, and I was gonna talk to Mark about it, and that was, it has disturbed me, and I'm hearing it around the room, that many people do not know what AQMD does. And so if I get a little funding, want to do a documentary, and I want to take testimony from people in the community, how they feel, what AQMD does, because we don't know.
I think
And it
the
might
real,
be picked up by one of the major networks, but that's kind of the idea I'm talking about.
the evolution of environmental justice would be a
Does that sound
fantastic
appealing?
topic. I mean,
Interesting?
so people can see what exactly happened.
Does it sound interesting, Mark?
It will apply to communities across the nation. I mean,
Yeah.
it really will.
A documentary where I'm interviewing AQMD officials, I'm interviewing the Environment Council, one of the members, I'm interviewing people in the community, because people don't know. I said, I'm on this Environmental Justice Council. It's like Danny Bakewell, he kind of get on the flip side, so they're saying, well, what do you mean by environmental justice? And what are the issues? What are we looking at? And we really need to be on the forefront and really let people know. So I thought about my company, my television network, doing documentary. And you will be the
Danny
second
used
one.
a really good term.
Huh?
Danny used a really good term, environmental injustice.
That's
Right.
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 And
That really
was-
got to a lot of people.
That's the beginning of the story.
So-
right?
Because instead of saying, by saying environmental justice, it's
like
a
we're
good
actually
idea.
providing some justice, right?
It's a good idea, but people don't look at it as environmental justice, they see it as the opposite.
That's
Right.
right.
And they're being affected by this injustice,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Well, I would interview
Justice, you have
somebody
to have
like
the
Danny
injustice,
Bakewell,
right?
where he would do that flip side.
Oh, yeah.
But you guys let me know
Yeah.
if you're real interested.
All right.
Great,
So
thank you.
we definitely want to hear more feedback, but I know that out
I
of
know
respect for
time.
time, I want to make sure we get through this very quickly.
Can
So
I just
we can-
also say
yes,
that lady, Nydia,
Mhm.
she was great.
Mm.
She was very forceful, and I sometimes think that when we are talking about injustices, you have to emphasize it, and you have to be strong in the manner that you speak about it. So just in the future, I mean, it seemed like she has a good relationship, and she's been building, right, with AQMD, so just the thought about her speaking and
Okay, so yeah, maybe we can include her even in one of the breakout sessions next time, for sure. So we provided you with a list of the meetings for next year.
Now, I have a question, because we're always here. Do you want us to go out there?
if you want to.
Where's
That'd
out
be
there?
fantastic, I would love it.
Go out with.
The community and
would.
host the
I
meeting
would
in
love
the
it.
community.
Sure.
Well, what do you think about that? When we can't do every single one, but we can maybe do one a year or two a year. Just have this advisory group meeting out there.
Sure.
What do you think?
Sure.
I
I'd be
know,
open.
and see, right now, I can tell you right now, they're both saying, Derek, where'd that come from?
Derek, you picked a good meeting where there's not very many people that can say no, so.
And you all came from far. No one
So
anywhere near that far.
I'm good with that idea.
So that's just a
of opening
thought,
it
so
up.
what we'll do is, the three of us will talk about it and maybe having one meeting out in one of your communities.
That would be
And that
great.
way, this is a public meeting, all our meetings are public, and so if people wanna come, it's a better opportunity for them to participate in one way or another.
How do you do this?
Telecom,
We'd have to hire.
Or we'd have to go to
or-
a location that has that
Yeah.
built in. So,
Well, you know what we do, we just go live.
Yeah.
As easy as
That's
1,
right.
2, 3.
Can I just ask one more question? Did the students from OC come?
They did. Yeah,
there
they
was one from
did.
Anaheim or
What
Yeah.
high school was it, Alicia?
Catella,
High.
yeah.
Yeah.
Catella.
A lot
there
of
are about
them are
35
workshops.
students.
Where were they? Where
They
were
all came down to the breakouts. The majority of them went into Daphne's breakout session, and a few of them, I think, went into Barbara's
Yeah.
breakout session.
Yeah.
But they came down a little late, so they
Yes,
came
yes.
out after all of them started. I was in the hall just watching all these
That's
kids
awesome.
stream it.
That's awesome. Last thing I'd like to recap, we lost people at the end. So-
It's a long day and people have to drive home.
Yeah, but we gotta make it enticing enough. I don't remember what the last thing was, but
We gave away dessert. We thought that was enticing.
Honestly, if
lost
we
them.
started later and left later, in between traffic breaks during the day, that would be amazing. Like if we started, say, at 11 or 10:30 and went on till 6:30 or something like that, because traffic grows,
Yeah.
depending on the flow of the
Unfortunately,
day.
traffic
but-
doesn't calm down in LA until
Well,
almost 8 o'clock.
yeah.
anyway, just a thought.
After lunch, that's when we would lose people as well. They just start to leave or go
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
and start talking in
The-
the hallway.
It's always gonna peak
after
at
the
lunchtime.
keynote. It was
The
People are gonna
keynote,
come,
you gotta
people are
pick
gonna
the
come all the way until lunch and then start leaving right after lunch. And so you get the most people at the luncheon, and that's why we wanted the keynote around lunchtime. Just how the dynamics.
I see.
I have a couple questions. When do you start planning for the next one in Los Angeles?
We're doing it now.
Today,
Yeah,
yeah.
good, okay. And then do you have sponsorship packages that are ready to
Not
go
quite
out?
yet. We'll work on that soon so
So
that
we
we can
can
So
start.
that's
sooner
gonna
than
come
later.
from Leandra's group.
Okay.
They'll be sending out the sponsorship packages, but, it's probably a good idea, maybe we just start earlier so we don't have to do the rush at the end. So maybe we start in around,
January.
February, March, April timeframe, so that way they have time, so.
Okay, great. And then also the venue, if you want to look at a different venue, I know the costs are probably the same at the Bonaventure?
Is that union?
Is that the cathedral and the
It's
Bonaventure?
Yeah, but the only thing is parking.
Parking, they can
Parking.
accommodate 500.
They
But-
have a
but-
lot of parking.
But will they validate? That's the question.
They will, they'll give you, what was it, I think it's $15 or $16 for the day.
That's still kind of a lot of money. So
Or you can park across the street.
We'll end up paying
less.
for it. We'll end up paying for it. So it just adds
Oh,
costs.
you'll pay for
Yeah,
it.
we'll pay for
How much do you pay at the cathedral?
10.
10 for
At the, buddy of mine is, the events director at the LA Theater Center, right there around the corner from where the location was there. That would be an amazing venue. I don't know if you've been there.
So one that we're looking at to have our Cesar Chavez event, you guys are working on that one, right? Cesar Chavez for us?
We will
Yeah.
start this month.
Yeah, so one venue we're looking at is the Latino Museum, the one,
In Long Beach?
In Long Beach?
no, the one in downtown LA.
Oh.
And it's right next to, it's not,
Long Beach
it's
would be a fun
actually
venue.
closer to Union Station than it is to the cathedral.
Oh,
And it's on Alvera Street where.
yeah, I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
it's right there, and they have events there. And what's it, John Chivesta is the CEO there.
Oh, La Plaza.
Yeah, La Plaza, yeah. So we're looking at having our Cesar Chavez event, and we'll take a look at it and see how that works out.
You would have to have it outside though,
Yeah, well,
They don't
it'll be
have
November.
enough.
Oh, November would be kind of cold, huh?
Yeah.
and it gets expensive.
It'll be in
when you start to
November
buy
again,
the
yeah.
We're looking at
heaters
October and
and
November.
Okay, but if you have any other venues that are,
Unless it's summer.
yeah, if you have any other venues, please share with us.
Okay.
And so I have a slide for each county. I went over what the workshop feedback was just as far as the logistics of the event, but the nitty-gritty of it from the breakout sessions and the feedback we received was very insightful. For LA County, people really want to see, we really tried to hone it in on the most common feedback we received. People really wanted to see an increase in interdepartmental collaboration so that we are better able to deal with environmental issues. So, for example, we heard that sometimes when people call about, let's just say, a water issue, they don't know who to call, and perhaps they call us, and then we just tell them, and this is just for example, for an example purpose, we don't handle water issues, you have to call another agency. They want to be able to have us better process these issues and these environmental concerns so that they're not having to figure out who to go to next, when agencies don't direct them in the exact direction or perhaps transfer them or whatever it may be. So what we're planning to do to address that is host some type of meeting or summit or workshop with the agency so that we can streamline that process and develop a better way to handle these environmental issues so that if we get an incoming call about an issue that we don't deal with, we're able to hand it over a lot easier to other agencies and figure out what's the best way to streamline it.
We actually already participate in some task forces with other agencies. I just went to one on Tuesday, and it's basically other enforcement agencies, and we talk about our cases and other complaints that are coming up so we could better coordinate with each other.
Oh, so
Very good.
can I meet with you at some point
Yes.
to maybe talk about that and pick your brain?
Sure.
That'd be awesome. So they also want us to influence legislation and regulations that protect the health of environmental justice communities. And I'll let Mark talk a little bit about what was done this year to address that.
Well, we work in Sacramento and in Washington already, and we take positions on legislation. And when we feel there's a need to improve legislation, we offer amendments, or we oppose legislation if we think that it's a problem. We can do something to let more people know what positions we're taking and what we're engaging in. But we're limited, we can't ask people to lobby on things we want them to lobby on because we're limited under state law on state issues from advocating to the community to support something in Sacramento. So we can't lobby to the community about state issues.
But you can send your position
But
so
we can
that
send-
we can lobby
we can send
on
it-
our own?
We can send out an email saying, these are the issues that are going on related to environmental justice, and we've taken positions on 2 of these, and this is the position we've taken.
There
So
are,
that we're not asking anyone else to follow us, but just informing them what we're doing.
there are rare opportunity, or not, there's rare instances where one half of our board will take a position, the other half will take another position, and not half, it's usually 7 to 6. So literally, the board can split And it happens very rarely.
So
but
you
there are
can't take a
instances.
position
No,
as
we do.
as a whole?
No, as a whole, we do. The majority wins, and then we take that position. But there has been times in the past, and most recently this last session, where the majority of the board voted to oppose it. The minority didn't support the motion to oppose the bill. They wanted to support it actually. But in that instance, the board was somewhat split, although as an agency, we took the position to oppose the bill,
And this is the bill to add,
to expand the board.
to expand the board with 3 additional
Three environmental justice
representatives who are from environmental justice communities or
And it would've
representing
been-
environmental justice
And it would have
groups.
been by the governor appointee, it would have been a speaker of the
And
Senate
so it was turned
and pro
down.
tem.
It was turned
was-
down, you said?
It was.
It was defeated.
AQMD voted to oppose the bill.
But that wasn't why it was opposed. There was a lot of politics involved, and there were other issues in the bill that also caused some concern among folks in Sacramento. And ultimately, the legislators changed those positions not to EJ folks, but to anyone, just to have 3 additional appointments. And then ultimately, it failed in the assembly. So
It passed the Senate, got out of the Senate, went to Assembly, passed committees, but on the floor it died.
yeah, so we're going to see, and we saw some other bills related to environmental justice this past year. And we'll likely see more bills related to environmental justice, not just on air quality, but also on greenhouse gases. So
How will the incoming administration, I'm trying to be nice.
in DC,
Yes, in DC have an effect on us, on the AQMD locally or,
Well, I
regionally?
mean, he and I were just actually talking about, because our DC consultant called us up and wants to talk to us about the new EPA designee.
Dismantling.
Pruitt, he's an attorney general out of Oklahoma. But
who is currently suing EPA with the Clean Power Plan and other issues.
we think they're gonna do a lot of rollbacks on
Yeah.
Obama's regulations and even EPA rules in general that maybe Obama didn't even, introduce. But, there's gonna be significant impact nationally. How it affects us locally, we have our rules, we have ARB.
Right.
That dictates to us what we need to do. But I think we'll be okay, but with
Locally,
states
yeah.
locally, but where states where there's weak environmental laws, it's gonna, hurt them.
Yeah, we're
And we gotta be careful that in the next few years, we don't roll back little by little what's been accomplished.
Well, we expect the effort will be primarily on climate change laws and the climate change rules adopted by President Obama. Our hope, but we have no knowledge either way, is that the work will continue to help push forward on clean water and clean air. And we just don't know if that's going to happen or they will try to roll back regulations related to clean air. Last year, there was an effort in Congress, and it passed the House, to the legislation that we have to abide by and regarding the issues of clean air is the Clean Air Act. And last year, there's an effort to change certain requirements in the Clean Air Act so that we would have more time to comply with the ozone regulations that were just established, ozone standards that were just established in 2015. That would have given, I think, another 8 or 10 years to comply with it, which states that don't support environmental regulation wanted, because by giving that added time, things naturally would have moved towards that and they would be in compliance 10 years out by doing very little. But what our view is, and our board's view primarily has been, is that as a policy position, we don't support changing the timelines, because the longer you make the timelines, the longer,
more impacts there are to
more
people.
impacts it has on individuals in environmental justice areas and throughout the region throughout those additional years. And so if we can meet attainment by the current deadline, that's optimal, and we should do everything we can to meet attainment by that point. And we shouldn't look towards the federal government to change the deadlines, we should look towards the federal government to help us meet the current deadlines that they've established. We don't know if that's going to be a consistent position with the new administration. And if they've already passed it under a Republican House last year, there's a potential that they'll do it under the House and move it to the Senate, and that would it could achieve other changes in the Clean Air Act that we're not supportive of either. So we're going to be looking at that. One of the big things we're looking at next year is how to help fund our air quality management plan, which our board is set to adopt in February. And the plan itself is an attempt to meet the attainment deadlines of 2023 and 2031 under various federal standards for ozone NOx. And so by achieving those reductions, we need a lot more money.
Yeah, it's just basically incentives, and it's incentives towards the mobile sources. The mobile sources are the vast majority of our pollution. So looking at offering them incentives, getting them to change out their engines, how clean the air quicker. A lot of these businesses have invested monies in the trucks and the fleets and the off-road equipment, and they're just not going to change it over just because we're asking to. There's got to be an incentive. So,
but we need the feds to help us not only provide some money, not just for us, but for other areas of the country, and we need the feds to adopt. We've petitioned the feds to adopt a low NOx standard for heavy-duty trucks, which is one of the largest emitters in the region of NOx, and is if we can reduce the truck fleet's emissions significantly, and this standard would do that, then it'll help us significantly, and will help a lot of other areas significantly.
Mark, we got to do that phone call at 1:45.
But EPA has to adopt that standard, and given the new administration, we don't know what EPA is planning on doing.
Okay.
Thank you.
So the other feedback we received from the community was increase the community's engagement in air quality related issues, to create some type of ambassador program that facilitates better communication with the public. So I'm going to take you up on this, Ada, that we can rely on you to maybe canvas and use the people in the community to really spread the word, communicate, and help with outreach, because I think that that's something that we could really use help with. So for Orange County, some of the feedback we received was community members want us to provide them with more information about toxics, odors, dust, and just general air quality issues and what exactly the AQMD does. So Barbie, this is back to the ABCs of AQMD. So we'll plan to go back and do a type of workshop or educational seminar to educate the community and provide them with more information. They also want us to improve the collaboration that exists between local government agencies and community members. And we, like I mentioned, we'll host a meeting with the different government agencies, but we'll also look at ways that we can then collaborate with them to better communicate with the communities and the people that are being affected by these air quality concerns. And they also ask for improvements in public transportation, like better bus routes and more bike lanes. We don't have jurisdiction over transportation, but we do have projects that have in the past offered funding for fleets to convert their vehicles to cleaner technology.
Also, through MSRC, there's opportunities for local governments to get grant money. And one of the items that, or one of the ideas that has been funded in the past was bike lanes. So that's something that's available.
That's great.
For Riverside County, they want us to address the local air quality concerns related to, for example, the Salton Sea, agricultural burning, improper disposal of materials. Sometimes people will burn tires, and that creates a real problem for nearby schools and communities. They want control on pesticides, dust, lack of sidewalks, trees, bike lanes. There's some things that we can address, other things we cannot. So what we're doing is we have a staff member who regularly attends meetings and is out in the community to identify what these issues are and potential solutions and ways that we can collaborate with others to address all of these concerns.
Danielle, speed up, 'cause Mark and I
Yeah.
don't jump.
So we just have like 2 more slides or 1 more slide after this. So we also need to, they also requested that we identify funding for air quality mitigation projects. People complain that there's never any funding to address the issues that they bring up. So we're currently in the process of identifying potential funding sources. And as Mark and Derek mentioned, and then streamline the process with which inspectors actually go out and respond to some of the complaints, because by the time our inspectors get out there, let's say for a burning tire or pesticide, whatever it might be, an odor, it's gone. So we will meet with staff to let them know that this is a concern and see what the process is to see if there's any room for improvement. San Bernardino, they want us to collaborate with officials on legislation that promotes more regulation of industry and increasing accountability. We talked a little bit about that through Mark. They want us to increase local use of clean transportation. We do have programs that promote the use of cleaner vehicles and transportation. And to mitigate the effects of air pollution resulting from truck traffic, warehouses, and rail yards. A lot of these are land use issues, so they're decisions that cities make, but where we are able to provide some solutions and potential funding for cleaner technology. There's currently a STAR grant, so we're in the process of soon meeting up with staff who's in charge of that here to see what we can potentially do so that we can maybe see how some of this money is used to address these issues. And so now just your feedback. So we went through some of the issues we'll be addressing for future workshops. Is there anything specific that you'd like to see perhaps omitted, added to any of this? Again, with LA County, we'll host a meeting with different agencies and rely on you as our advisory council to help spread the word. For Orange County, we'll go and do a follow-up workshop to educate the community about what the ABCs of AQMD. And for Riverside, I think the key for Riverside County and San Bernardino is for us to figure out what the funding opportunities are so we can address some of these issues. A lot of these are large-scale projects that we frankly don't have the funding for, so it would require us to have a discussion about funding. So is there any other feedback before we?
Have you thought about partnering with like UCI or any places like that? I know they're coming into Oakview right now and they're doing the studies on making it a solar community, self-reliant and recycling the power and all that. And that would be amazing for you guys to get involved.
So I call it the UCI mafia here. There's a lot of higher ups that went to UCI here. It goes all the way from our executive officer, Wayne Nastry, to the head of our technology office, Matt Miyasato, to our monitoring person, Jason Lowe, and then to Aaron Kastenstein,
Nice. Sounds like
Who runs our lab.
who runs our lab.
Uh-huh.
They're very active with UCI, and we do partner with them on occasion. We do a lot with UCR, but we do have done some stuff with UCI.
Yeah, well, I would love to see you guys partner up, because right now they're not really addressing the rainbow issue, the diesel trucks, which is what's currently on our minds, how to get them rerouted, or even to get them to change their engines. And we met with the Professor Brower, if you want that information, Dr. Brower at UCI, and there is a connection there, to work together with Rainbow, the AQMD, and them with their project. It's all the same mission, and I think everyone kind of doing their own thing, a lot is lost. With the collaboration, it could be amazing, get something done in that area.
I think. So if that's it, item number 5 is member updates. Vanessa, you want to start? You have any updates?
Sure. Well, for me personally, I'm no longer with the Los Angeles Latino Chamber of Commerce. I left November 4th, and I am starting my own business. So I'm going to be doing community outreach with a partner of mine, 2 partners, 2 Latinas.
Who's that?
Michelle Arce,
So what's your business?
Community Connections,
Oh, great.
LLC. So we're just getting started because I just left November 4th.
No.
But we're still involved in the community, and we're going to be doing a lot of community work and working, hopefully.
Are you a nonprofit or LLC or what?
LLC.
Okay.
Yeah, not for a LLC. but I'm still connected. We're very much connected in the community. We're gonna put together an event in, I think it's March, was gonna be February. Kevin De Leon was gonna be our speaker, and we had to move it to March because of Roybal Allard. Lucille's also gonna speak. And I'll get the date to you for that with about 10 of the chambers in the
Oh,
East
great.
Los Angeles area.
That's great, congratulations.
And then we'll be launching the business on that day. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Barbara?
Update?
Update, yeah. No
Oh.
update?
Personally, no. Professionally, I don't know what to say. There's a lot going on in my world, but basically, I am spreading as much of the word as I can about environmental justice, and one of the things my team and I have talked about is doing documentary on environmental justice, or what you're doing. Basically, I'm moving into documentaries, and I have now 5 subsidiaries under, and I'm BJY Enterprises, Inc. Okay, because the CSU University, I'm a consultant to the California State University Chancellor. That's where that comes in. But under my company, I now have my own publishing company, so I'm able to publish books, and the television network has expanded to include a partner now that I have, and so I'm with 1.4 million folks globally. So I have a
Great,
far
great.
reach now.
Okay, great. Good to know. Yeah, thank you.
And we did win our sequel lawsuit against the city of Huntington Beach.
Yay!
That's awesome.
Yes, we did. So that was amazing. And we also were able to get they were doing, Rainbow Environmental went into an agreement with the AQMD for fence line testing. So we had a bit of a battle getting those released into public records, but we won that on Monday. So we're gonna be getting access to that information that could really impact the kids there, so we're excited about that. And Gina settled her lawsuit with Rainbow with a fantastic results. So everything's moving forward, and we're excited that they have retired a lot of people from Rainbow and brought in some new blood, who we're excited about that, creating relationships there. So things are going well, very well.
Thank you, Barbara. We're next to public comment. Is there any public comments? Seeing none, I'm gonna adjourn the meeting to.
Can I have one item, which is just, we have a new environmental justice
Thank
brochure. I wanna just distribute it, and, there we go.
Ooh, I like that.
I get
That's a
that.
good
So we
graphic.
can give you more of them if you'd like,
This is
but
nice.
This is
this is our
awesome.
newest, piece of collateral and we're gonna do it's just a small run, but we have a new, big run coming up next week.
So, Jim gave you
Can
compliments.
I have a few more of these?
Very nice.
These are great.
It's readable,
Wow, look
it's
at you.
interesting.
So, I'm gonna.
I did want to make one quick announcement. Alicia recently got a promotion to Chief Operating Officer of the Delhi Center. So if you see her, run into her, talk to her, please congratulate her. She was going to try to make it. I think she might have, with the new position, just been a little bit busy. But I did leave some goodies for everyone to take, and additional copies of the program for the conference. And then if you can please make sure to leave your expense claims with me, and if you attended the conference, I have an additional expense claim for you to fill out. And then Barbie, I just need to speak to you about some of the
Yeah,
paperwork.
girl, I've never gotten
Yeah,
anything.
Yeah,
done.
so we'll get that
Yeah.
done today.
I gotta,
Thank you.
I'm gonna adjourn the meeting to February 22nd, my mom's birthday, so
woo!
that's a good day to remember, my mom.
Why don't we
It's my
invite her and
dad's
give her
birthday.
some sandwiches?
There you go, perfect. Happy birthday, Mom, right? All right, thank you very much.
And happy holidays to everybody.
Yes.
Happy holidays to
Yeah.
everyone.
Happy
I just,
holidays.
even if it's past, I just want to say thank you to everyone for all your help and your commitment to coming to the meetings and to the events and to the workshops. You've been an incredible support, so thank you. And I look forward to hopefully having you guys be on board for next year as well.
And there's
And
little,
you guys are very organized, and I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
there's little
It
pins
is.
for everyone to
Derek?
take,
think about the
Yeah, for
documentary.
sure.
Thank
sure.
you.
I'm
And-
serious.
Now,
And-
actually, we're gonna,
Notice the back,
we may
put
issue an
all the
RFP to
agencies.
update our
I
right
need
to
the
free
one for
video.
The contact.
We're gonna be discussing that
Barbie, did you notice the back?
either January
No,
or
I
February
haven't had a chance to
to
really look at it.
to take it through, to put on Google,
This is great. I'm really excited about
for
this.
6 months. But they wanna update it, cause it's kind of outdated, it's probably about 5 years old, 6
So
years
this
old.
talks
we
about
may
us, but it also
Well, I'll
gives
let you know.
people
Yeah,
information
Barbara.
about
I'd
our
like to
contact.
put you,
I love
this,
this.
because what we're doing is we're building this because
There's
other
other
net
I have to
will pick
answer
it
on a
up.
daily basis.
So, yeah, thank you.
I'll ask Jeanette, yeah.
Thank you.
Love it, love it.
Okay, so
Okay,
let's
come
get
on,
this
Danielle.
done.
Real quick.
So did you fill out this one here for, oh my gosh, please take some food.
Yeah,
out.
I'm gonna still.
Everyone, take
Oh my
some.
God.
Required citizen.
Okay, can we sit?
Yes, of course.
You know, I met a few of the women that do the separation at the landfills.
I'm gonna run to the potty real quick, okay?
Go for it.
So bad.
So let me bring this over here to you.
I have to run this one.
Yeah, let me make sure I got everything.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Sorry, sorry.
And I was supposed to leave here at 1:30.
Okay, so
So
we'll
much
make
is
this quick.
going on.
So the issue they had was just that, I think there was a little checkbox at one point, but then, so this one break those, so let's put this one over here. And then I want you to fill out this one so you can get reimbursed for the conference too. So, oh my gosh, thank you for coming. Have a great holiday. Thank you.
Have a great
Thanks, Daphne.
one. Good luck again, I'm so
And
excited.
congratulations.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
great.
Take care.
Okay,
Nice
so
to see you
Barbara
again.
number,
I
yeah.
should reach out to Union Bank, but I don't know if it was too late for them to come in and
What?
sponsor.
We did reach out
Daniela,
to
did you
them.
reach
I
out to
think-
Union
I
Bank?
think they said
We
they needed a
did.
little bit more time.
They needed more time, yeah.
So we'll keep
So
them in
maybe we
our.
can send it to them right away for next year.
Yeah, for
Absolutely.
sure.
Yeah, thank you for that.
So for this one,
Bye-bye.
I already just needed to, mark.
You
This
mean I
is-
didn't check a box?
I would have been happy to fill it out, but
Who's
because
that?
you signed it, we weren't able, it's considered like
Oh,
fraud, yeah. So whatever,
You want me
here
to
you
put
did
my company?
individual, so they just have to
Did I
match.
have my company there?
Here you have individual,
I'm
and the
corporation.
address has to match, so this one has 31660, this one has,
No, use this address, because that's my company. This is my company.
okay,
Yeah, this is my company. I don't want to send it my personal.
okay.
Oh,
So
but I
then,
don't have my I don't have my, ID, my corporate ID number, which you need there, huh?
what we can do is I can send you a blank one, have you fill it out, and then,
No, because this
No?
keeps dragging it out. No, I want to get this over today, because we keep dragging it out, and so I want to get it done.
So do we need an ID number there for my corporation?
basically what needs to happen is they need to
Oh.
match. So.
Well, let's just, well, we have to, give me another a W-9, because this is not matching. This should match that, and I
Okay.
don't want it on, this is my,
This is your personal information?
yeah, this is
Okay.
my personal
So
information
then,
here. This is company.
okay, so let me get you another one of these,
Oh, you don't have one available?
or,
huh?
this one, so you want this,
What is, yeah, because this should be, these should match. Everything should come under my company, not my
Okay.
personal name.
so let me run upstairs,
Yeah.
I'll
okay.
print,
And
I'll
then I'll
print
get
these
my,
out.
I probably have to have my,
Yeah.
tax ID number.
Okay,
So call my office right quick,
Right,
Yeah.
so we can be straight.
yep,
Oh,
okay, I'll be back, I'm gonna
Okay.
go print some stuff up and I'll be right back down.
okay, I'm sorry, just,
No problem. And then did we start recording?
I'm not sure.
Where is the crew today? Where's Daniel?
He's working with us.
Hi.
this is Dr. Young. Do you have, I need, you to research, I need to get my, ID number for the company, because I was filling out a withholding exemption. Do you have the ID number for BJY Enterprises? If you don't, they're gonna have to send,
Same.
Yeah. Okay.
Get me hungry.
Oh.
I will not.
Hello? Let's see, yeah. I don't have my glasses, so it's hard for me to see today.
Get my phone.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because to fill out these forms, I have a withholding exemption certificate. And so all of the money that's reimbursed here should come out of the company, not my personal. You know, the reimbursements for being on this council. I can't hardly see. I need glasses. I can't even see this thing hardly.
You need help?
Oh, use this, lady, did you
I
see
need
this?
some glasses.
Look, here.
Oh, yeah.
Hang on a minute, let's see.
It does the trick, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You're right.
See,
Oh,
see how
wow.
handy those little gadgets are, you wanna pass out?
Oh, wow.
What is it?
Okay.
The magnifying glass.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't hardly see without my glasses. Okay.
Well, then that's a good thing to have.
Isn't this good?
Do you want me to
Okay,
read it
what's
to
the
her?
ID
When
number?
I saw what it was, I'm like, ooh, I'll be using this.
Barbara, did you want me to read it to her for you?
474435.
So you waited till the end to eat, huh?
I had a sandwich before, but I
Oh,
wanted to
Okay,
eat something. And I just got
474435,
hungry this I think it was the coffee that was
496.
Yeah.
That's our tax
I started
ID
getting really
number.
hungry.
Okay, thank you.
Alrighty, okay, bye-bye.
You haven't had a bite to eat though. Oh, you did?
Hi Barbie, I'm Alicia.
Hi.
I'm with Lee Andrews Group.
Oh, very cool. Oh, I
Yes.
speak to you from time to time, don't I?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I missed the first couple events and then our event in Orange County with you. I got married that weekend. So I've just been missing all types of meetings.
Yeah, she was here at the beginning.
That's awesome.
And then she went off and got married.
Yeah.
Wow.
She did.
Welcome
Had a
to the
honeymoon
club,
and
girl.
everything.
Good for
Then I
her.
had to come back. I said,
Where'd you go on your
"This is not
honeymoon?"
going." I went to Puerto Vallarta.
Oh, okay, that's
And
nice.
this is wrong, so
That's
this
great,
should be.
that's great. We'll see you guys soon.
Have a good event tonight.
All right, girls,
Thank
see
you
you
so
tonight.
much.
Yeah.
Thank
Bye,
you.
have a
Bye-bye.
good one.
Thank
Good to see you
Good
again.
to see you. January 22nd, he said. That's on our list.
5th.
February.
February.
February 22nd is for
February.
the.
Okay, February.
And then,
You
what
have
is
the
it,
list,
January
right?
5th for some celebration or awards ceremony?
Oh, okay.
So
Will you guys
January
send us,
5th.
would you
I'll
guys
send that
send us
over,
the
yeah.
info out
didn't
on
catch
that,
that,
see if I can
January.
make it?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, okay,
You said
yeah.
something about January?
See you guys,
January
happy
5th
holidays
was
to
the-
all.
Happy holidays, thank you.
Yeah, we're just confirming the location for that event.
Oh,
so-
for the,
I'll be
I
on.
see, for the steakhouse, gotcha.
Yeah, I'll be on a cruise.
Mm.
But I know that Oscar or one of those guys will come, you know, there.
Mhm.
This is really something. I have my glasses and I'm like, I'm not blind. But I didn't bring my glasses with me.
Your reading glasses?
Yeah, my reading
Hmm.
glasses.
Still not done yet. So
I'm taking some home.
I come back then when you guys.
And it's such a fine
Maybe
print.
like 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes.
Yeah, we went to New Orleans for, I was there for
I want to
4
take a couple
days.
of sandwiches home, but there's nothing to wrap them up in.
Well, there's, what I did was this.
Put a
so I
napkin on
just-
top.
Yeah, and then take the toothpicks and put it through and it holds it kind
Is
of
that what
there.
you did?
Yeah.
I was gonna
That's
take
what I do, girl.
All right, now,
Anyway, I haven't been to the grocery store, so I'm like, throw
Oh,
a
yeah.
sandwich in front of my husband when I get home. Leave me alone.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Let me
Buy
watch
me
my
some
shows.
time. Oh. Okay, so you can keep that. You want another one? That comes in handy. Just slide
well, I
it
mean,
in
is
your
there
purse.
something?
Okay,
Get
you
your
want a bag to put it in? Put your stuff in. These are handy now. We passed the state law, right? No more
Yeah,
bags.
I was
People.
gonna say I need one of those because
I
I keep
do.
one in my purse, so I need 2 usually.
Yeah.
I like that they fold up.
What's this in here?
You mean they can't give you a paper bag either? Oh,
See,
yeah,
I already
they charge
have,
you.
look,
They charge you.
I already have one
There
I
you
keep
go.
there.
Well, in LA, that's been happening in LA for a whole year now, so I'm used to it.
What is this?
Yeah.
So in Los Angeles, they've done that already.
Yeah, well, they did it. Huntington Beach is the only city. I live in the greatest city. We're the only ones where they did ban the bags.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they threw such a fit. They repealed the bag ban.
Oh, wow.
Can you believe it?
Wow.
Over the 10 cents. Because that 10 cents is going into grocery stores' pockets. I mean, that was, and they actually repealed it. It was shocking. It was embarrassing to be in that city at that time.
Who
But
led
now
the
with
efforts?
the,
Do you know who led the efforts?
oh yeah, the guy, I don't know if you guys are aware, but,
Probably the guy who makes plastic bags.
no. Oh, I call him Little Bill O'Reilly is what I've
Bill
coined him.
O'Reilly.
He's a local journalist that just took it upon himself that this was an outrage,
Right.
you know, and so he led the efforts.
Wow.
And you know, honestly, the social media, if you're still ignoring social media, you are a fool, because that is where the movements are happening, starting, spreading.
Oh,
You
you
see
mean
now-
social media?
We see that with the
Presidential race.
election. Exactly. I really wish the AQMD would step up their social media game. I really wish you guys would.
Well,
In a
they're
big
the
way.
Adams, they're not, they're the consultant, aren't you the
No,
consultant?
but
yeah.
you're the media.
You
Aren't
can
you-
recommend it.
What are you?
Well, we are consultants, however, AQMD does have a lot of internal departments, so they do have someone that handles one particular person that handles their,
Yeah,
social
that
media.
handles their social media, you guys don't do that.
Yeah, but
What happened to, what's her name,
that's a
Tanya?
suggestion that I can just write down.
Tanya,
Yeah,
so
that's.
she went to a developer to work. She is working at the development of the Inglewood Stadium.
oh,
Yeah.
What is this, my friend?
wow,
Yeah.
she just went away, huh?
Yeah, I caught up with her last night actually. So
Oh, did you?
Did you
Yeah.
catch up with her? Oh,
I saw her in LA at the thing.
I saw her at the conference in LA. She's supposed to call me. I haven't heard from her. And then I haven't heard from Daniel. Please, Daniel, I gotta get on the freeway. I am so busy, girl. My office is closed and I got another meeting tomorrow.
Oh, now's the time. You get on by 2
Yeah, I
and
gotta
forget about it.
get home. I gotta get on that freeway.
Yeah.
Here she is. Here she is. And I got this spilled out,
Okay.
in drafty.
They're, they probably won't accept something crossed out, and this isn't coming from me, this is the,
Oh, I'm not giving
Accounting.
anything crossed out. I'm just saying I got it draft. So I
Okay.
can hurry up and get this over
there
with.
you go.
That's what I'm trying to do.
So I gotta figure out my
Oh my
mileage.
God. Now I've got a withholding and I got a W-9.
And then I need to give you the form
The LA.
for.
Do I have to figure out my mileage right now from?
No, you can just put your
Put
address.
this out in their personal
Oh, okay.
name, in their personal names, Danielle?
I
I have
people
a
do.
business.
Right, so you can put it under your business or your personal name, whatever your preference is. The only thing is that the two documents you submit have to match.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you.
All righty. Thank you, darling.
Of course.
And I couldn't see because I didn't bring my glasses.
Oh, you know
So
what,
my
we
reading
have,
glasses and I got these.
She's been using
Oh, okay.
I've been using it. Okay, on the W-9.
And I'm gonna go ask
Are
the
you going?
cafeteria for the cart.
Oh, she just
She's
came.
coming back
She
in.
just came. She's gonna come back in about a couple minutes.
Okay,
Mhm.
cool. Yeah, because we have a good amount of leftovers. I think what I'll do is put everything in one with these little jobs.
Want me to transition them over?
Yeah, no, go ahead and finish it.
Oh, shoot. I'm gonna have to take this with me. I just don't have time. I'll
Yeah.
get it to you.
Once you start like,
I
I
gotta
gotta go,
go.
forget about it, you gotta go.
I gotta go. Danielle, I'll
Yeah,
fax it to you.
sounds good, thank
Okay,
you.
what's your fax number?
Let me contact, can you email it to me?
What? Email this? No, I
Yeah.
can't.
No, email your fax number.
Huh?
No, can you email the document to me? It'll be safer that way.
Oh, you can take a picture of it.
Yeah,
I'd do that.
I'll have to have my office staff do that. What's your fax number though?
I don't know the fax.
Oh,
number.
they'll scan it probably and send it
Yeah,
to you.
Yeah.
faxes are just about,
Yeah,
obsolete now.
okay. I have a personal fax machine, that's all I do.
Yeah, I have one at home.
People have to fax me. I was gonna take a sandwich with me, but.
Please do, please
Oh,
do.
but she showed me how to do it, but I was trying to figure out how to do it. It's just that I have to run.
You know what would be better is using that paper to
Well,
wrap it up, lady.
I am pressed.
Here, I'm gonna whip out my restaurant
Definitely
skills on you.
let's see.
What kind of sandwich you want? Can we help you?
Oh, that'd be awesome, thank you.
What kind of sandwich do you want, Barbara?
Any kind, what do they have?
You got ham, you got veggie, you got turkey.
Give me turkey and ham.
I think the wheat is on turkey, you go with that?
Turkey, no ham.
Oh, wait, no, that's a salad.
It's ending.
Yeah, what's your second choice after turkey? It looks like there's like a tuna salad. This is like a chicken wrap or something.
Tuna salad,
Tuna salad.
that's it. Okay, I will, Danielle, put this tuna, I'm so sorry.
Don't worry about it, it's okay.
Girl,
And
they,
I would gladly take your paper as is, but accounting is very strict.
no, I don't do that. No, I was just filling it out in glass, so I would be able to do it. But now I'm like, I'm running out of time.
Oh, direct from the belly.
Hey, you know what I have to do?
Yeah, you would.
This one's got. Uh-oh.
I don't know what happened there.
Just make sure you put it like this.
I'm gonna put it in one of those bags. Oh, I was gonna put it in one of those bags. I'll do it like that.
If we have some tape, I can tape it up for you, but other than that, you're.
No, we're doing fine.
The toothpick won't puncture it.
Doing fine.
Alright, y'all.
I just hate to have to, run.
Please have a happy holiday. Enjoy. Thank you for coming. And please do email me the ideas that you have so that Mark and Derek and I, or Mark, whoever you prefer.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll have my people, because we're working on it right now, the proposal,
Okay,
what
that
we have
sounds
in
good.
Oh,
mind.
there they are.
Thank you, darling.
Thank
You guys have a
Take it
good
easy.
Christmas holiday season.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Tell
Thank you.
Danny,
Holiday.
tell Danny I said hi.
I
We
will.
will, thank you.
Oh, I'll see his father tomorrow, we got a meeting with
There you
tomorrow.
go.
Alright, lady, I'm gonna hit it as well. Thank you so much.
Did you take some food with you, please?
I wanted to give you just a little bit of feedback.
Hold on one second.
I attended the meeting with a friend, I guess you call it.
These are still on.
They're still on?
They're green.
Actually, no, I stopped the recording, so we're good.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, did not get good feedback. And that's why I asked her for a PowerPoint, dress it in a compliment. It was,
Her presentation was good.
well,
I don't know how to
you
do
know, you guys
That
haven't
one's
seen it,
green.
you don't know what it is.
That's what I was
It's
saying.
like,
I asked her
don't
to
go dressed
edit
like
this in
that.
red.
Don't go showing all your stuff. No one's gonna pay attention to you looking like that. That kind of, it was just like, whoa, what's shaking down here?
Okay.
A lot of that stuff going on. And even outside of that.
Oh, it's green.
I think she's gonna send you
That one probably, that last one's probably
Okay,
on.
let's put these right here.
Oh, never cool.
Well, so I think they're, obviously with all of us, there's, we're
There's
all
one more.
right? So there's so many.
They're all over the place. Yeah.
I know.